What am I doing?
10 Minuten, Bühne frei für Foroogh, Ghorbani.
Well, hi, Berlin. Thank you so much. I'm not sure if I should be sorry for you that I'm the first one who's going to speaking and it's going to be in English for you, or you're just, I don't know if it's just a coincidence or I should just be sorry for you. But either you just like it or you just hate me. But let's just get to it. So this is Foroogh. I am from Iran. You might have heard of this country, or maybe not, but maybe through the news. Many of you already know about this country. And yes, so what I'm going to talk about it today is about the art of word perception. And speaking of perception, regarding the language, my brain still didn't fully download the package of the German language, so I'm really sorry about that. But getting to the brain, I just wanted to tell you that. Did you know that your brain is actually like Netflix editor? It is constantly dividing the information and your live stream into the episode. Some of you might have a short miniseries kind of movie, or some of the other might have a 12-season like Grey's Anatomy. Never ended and full of unnecessary drama. But unlike Netflix, your brain is actually not cutting out the boring scenes. It actually keeps you, like all these scenes there, because it want to keep you sane and not going insane, hopefully. But I want to get into a little bit of detail that what I'm actually doing here. So today I'm going to talk about a theory called Event Segmentation Theory. In the world of cognitive neuroscience, this is a new theory that is just trying to see a new perspective to how we are actually seeing the world around us. So basically, this theory is talking about how your brain is constantly trying to divide and segment all the information that you're getting from your environment into the manageable pieces and meaningful ones. So it is like editing a movie, because you are getting all this information, all these motions, all these figures, and your brain is just putting them together to understand and decide when one episode is about to end and another episode is about to start. So before going to this one, maybe I will just stay here. So I will get to a little bit of like example for you to just maybe get it more understandable. Imagine this. You're just entering a room, like for example this room. You have a drink in your hand and maybe a coffee. Let's just keep it safe. And suddenly a person just behind you calls your name and you're just tripping and just spill the coffee all over the place. Your brain constantly goes, cut, a new episode, because there's a coffee catastrophe. But why? Because your brain didn't expect that something like this is going to happen. So there's a system called prediction error, which is your brain wave of trying to realize that something unexpected is happening, which was not the case before. In this kind of situation, this prediction error system tries to send a signal to your working memory, which is actually the memory that you're using it for the moment. So the fact that we are all here is your working memory, actually. And it just sends a signal and says that something is just missing, something is not fitting. So just change the script to what is actually happening. Meanwhile, your long-term memory, or the memory that you use for all your previous experience and knowledge and drama, this is also going to help you. So maybe you're a very clumsy person, and you do trip a lot, and you do spill the coffee everywhere. So your brain is just trying to tell you that, don't worry, it's okay, you've been there a lot of times. Speaking of that, but how we could see such a thing? We are actually in our lab, we are using tools called electroencephalogram, or EEG, you might heard, which is a cap full of wire, as you can see here. Well, we call it a high-tech spaghetti, actually. There was one time a participant was just asking me that, well, are you sure I'm not looking like an alien in this one? Well, I was just like, yeah, but just a very smart alien, you know? But this cap is actually tracking and recording all the brain waves of you, which they are actually like the soundtrack of your brain's movie, let's say. We have different type of them. Each of them have different responsibility and roles. But some of the others that they're really important, I'm going to talk about them tonight. So theta band activity, or the brain waves that is a little bit slower, is by the time that you're actually daydreaming or like chilling, relaxing, maybe want to go to sleep. We do see the activation of such a frequency band. Then we have alpha, which is a little bit more awake. So It's more like a very calm montage soundtrack of your brain. And then we have the beta 1 activity, which is exactly by the time that you're trying to figure out your life, you're trying to solve your problems, deciding, and everything that you're doing it in everyday life, all the panicking that you're doing also at work. But why I just said all these things? So in my lab, with my colleagues, the very first study that we run, we wanted to actually see that if we can see such a brain waves, some kind of relationship with this theory that I just said. So this theory that is all talking about the perception of the world. We actually saw something important for us. I don't know how much for you, but we saw that, yes, we do actually see these brain waves. So by the time that something unexpected happened, we saw the theta 1 activity, which was acting like a very naive kind of editor, the intern, you know. Because every time something unexpected happened, they were just freaking out. And then we saw alpha band activity by the time that there was some knowledge, some experiences, something that is just coming from your old wise person, let's say. And then we saw beta 1 activity, which was actually representing, again, this working memory, this moment, and this situation. But why this was important? Well, I mean, we were not stopping there. We were more curious to see if we see also such a thing when it comes to different age. We started from teenager. We were just asking ourselves, okay, but how this could be for the teenager? We saw that, let's imagine this. If we as an adult, we are editing the life of ourselves, like our movie, in a 4K resolution, this is not the case for the teenager. They are actually doing it in a dial-up kind of connection, really slow-paced. So this is why that for children, or like let's say for the teenager, the life is going super slow. It's like as if they're in a slow motion, which is not the same for us, because you know why? Because they didn't do much of editing kind of movie experience of their life. They still don't know much about life. So how we are expecting them to cut, you know, to do the episodes. But for us, it's easier because we've been there too much. We have a 12-season kind of TV series. We have a lot of background, a lot of knowledge. So for example, you are expecting another person comes after me that hopefully speaks German for sure. This is your experience, okay? And this is just something for you. So next time, if you have a teenager, and if you just see them, they're just lost, stuck, and they don't know what the fuck they have to do, sorry, just be patient and really just know that they are just trying to figure out that what is going on there in their life. But the most important things for us was not to just get there, but we, in our lab, we are actually trying to get more to the mental health and the questions which is coming there. So for us, it was important to see such a thing in disorders like ADHD or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, which you may heard about it, that many people, when they have it, they might have lack of focus, attention, social interactions, and these kind of things. And we actually saw that teenager who has the ADHD, when they were coming to the cutting the life and like, you know, cutting this episode of their life, they were less attentive to the social cues and the social interaction kind of cues, which it's not a very big and huge news, but the good news is that we could see such a thing through such a theory. So hopefully we can use this theory and maybe going through new treatment and finding better way of diagnosing ADHD. So speaking of treating and helping, for the moment we do a lot of try and error. I personally used different methodology. For example, I use Ritalin, which is a medication that nowadays is also using for the ADHD. And I was just trying to see that what could happen with such a medication. And I saw that, yes, Ritalin is actually really helping. I mean, of course, it's not good if you want to sniff it. Don't do that. But definitely, Ritalin was really boosting the performance of the children. But the problem was that if they are already knowledgeable, this is not working. So either you have to be knowledgeable or you have to have the Ritalin. We also use brain stimulation methodology. And don't panic when I say brain stimulation. It's not like that we are washing the brains or something like that. But we are just giving some little current, non-invasive, to just see that what's going to happen. Still, we are under data collection. I don't have something interesting to tell you. But what I believe that is going to happen is that we're going to change maybe the dynamic of your neurotransmitter, which is dopamine and norepinephrine. And again, you might have the boost in your performance. So, as a final takeaway, I would say that next time, if you're, like, when you're entering into a room and you're just forgetting, what am I doing here? Don't panic, it's just your brain. It's just trying to take a rest and just make the new cut. And who am I? I'm a person who is just sitting in front of the computers and just for hours and hours, me with my colleagues, which one of them, she is here tonight, we are just trying to figure out, and we are just trying to see your beautiful brainwaves, your beautiful soundtracks, and maybe hopefully find ways to make this world a little bit better, and maybe finding new treatment and diagnosis way for the mental disorders like ADHD and other ones. So thank you so much, and I hope that you really didn't hate it.